Every year, Academy Awards has been special for me. It is a way how to discover new and mostly amazing movies. Some years are stronger than others, but every time there is at least one or two pictures you will fall in love with. So, to make it a little easier for people who do not possess the power to go to uncharted movie waters, I have an overview of the most popular category, Best Motion Picture of the Year. Enjoy! Avatar: The Way of Water. With the most expensive movie, I guess ever, James Cameron's achievement was in the biggest cinematic experience of the year. One would even say that Avatar 2 is a revolutionary product in terms of visual effects. I'm not sure if I necessarily feel it this way, but there was always something to look at. And even though the story was weak, the soundtrack was struggling to cover all the runtime, the dialogue wasn't doing it for me, and some characters weren't interesting enough. I enjoyed Avatar 2 in a movie theater, but I can't say if it would work on a smaller screen at home. Im Westen nichts Neues. This is a third adaptation of the famous book written by Erich Maria Remarque, telling a story of a German soldier who throws himself into the terror of the World War I. War movies were never really my thing, but I can appreciate a good film. All Quiet on the Western Front is a well-crafted picture with many awesome set pieces, great action and strong character moments. In a few scenes the visual effects were a little weaker, but it was a very minor thing. I wasn't distracted by it that much. It would still be very enjoyable in movie theaters. I have no clue why is this only on Netflix. Also, I need to quickly mention the soundtrack. At the start of the movie, it unleashes these powerful pulses, which sounds almost like a Rammstein. It fits and it rocks. So like I said, technical aspect is great. Story on the other hand, wasn't as good. There were unnecessary scenes of government officials living in luxury and signing off papers. It wasn't in the book and it shouldn't be here. Showing this obvious contrast is only distracting. Elvis.
Well, you may go to college, you may go to school, you may have a pink Cadillac, but don't you make nobody's rule now, baby, come back, baby.
If anyone should film Elvis Presley's biography, Baz Luhrmann is definitely a super great choice. His bombastic style brings Presley's energy properly on screen. If you've seen Moulin Rouge or The Great Gatsby, you know what I'm talking about. But even this is not enough, because without Austin Butler, this movie would never be as convincing as it is. Throughout the film, he gradually convinces you that you're watching the real Elvis, and near the end, where you actually see the old footage, you are surprised and think, oh right, he looked a little different, of course. So Austin Butler nailed it with his outstanding performance. And then you've got Tom Hanks, the narrator and the villain of this movie, which is an interesting choice and I really like that. To show these parasites how they abuse talented people. Especially in today's world, it is a very important message. And even though the film is a bit longer and I personally would like to see another film receiving this Oscar nomination, it is still a great biography flick, with maybe the best performance of the year. The Banshees of Inisherin. I wrote this review a few moments after seeing this movie. And oh boy, let me tell ya, I felt like big old donkey shite, mate. Inisherin is an Irish island in the movie. I loved the scenery, the people, how everything sounded and looked. It really felt like you were there. getting surrounded by beautiful Irish nature, and for 2 hours you are living in this village amongst all of its residents. But the story is the thing that drowned me in a bit of sorrow and misery. What started as an innocent little comedy turned into a heartbreaking tale. In the center, there are two best friends. One day, one of them decides that he doesn't like the other no more, so we're trying to figure out why by following Colin Farrell's character, who suddenly lost his best friend, played by Brendan Gleeson. The Banshees of Inisherin is beautifully shot and incredibly acted. If you want to get emotionally wasted, this is a perfect movie for you. Everything everywhere, all at once. If you wanna see a batshit crazy adventure, you will be in the right place. This literally came out of nowhere. The best I can describe it is an original spin on the multiverse formula, best known from Flashpoint or Loki. With $25 million budget, they managed to make a sci-fi action blockbuster comedy. After watching the film, I cannot believe how 5 guys in their bedrooms achieved it. Every action shot is so exciting and visually original. You'll be scratching your head from start to finish and wonder how they did it. Story centers around immigrant Chinese family, and main protagonist is pulled from her ordinary life to a crazy sci-fi multiverse. Even though some sequences are so out of reality and the craziness is reaching new heights you would never think to get to, flow of the camera and editing makes you follow the action clearly. But your mind will blow nevertheless, so be prepared. That's your warning. Women talking.
We could not endure any more violence.
We have been preyed upon like animals. Maybe we should respond like animals.
How would you feel if in your entire life it never mattered what you thought? When we've liberated ourselves, we will have to ask ourselves who we are.
This is the shortest movie on my list. With its 1 hour and 40 minutes runtime, many people will appreciate this fact, including me, because today it's quite rare for a movie to be under 2 hours long. So what's it about? Film's title says it all. Main portion of the story is set in a barn, where 11 women are discussing their stay or departure from their colony. It is because some men were tranquilizing and then raping them. After finding out this horrible reality, men were taken to the nearby city by police, where they stayed for 2 days. And this is our story. For these 2 days, women from the colony are trying to find out if they want to stay and fight or leave and eventually forgive. I really like these kinds of movies that can create enormous tension. Acting is the front and center here. So in a discussion like this, you will have a whole spectrum of emotions on display. What also catched my ears was music. Beautiful melodies and clean guitar solos made everything work even more. Last thing, which you already noticed, is the color correction that stands out with its surprisingly dark color palette. Tar. Starring Cate Blanchett as a music conductor and composer, this movie is a very interesting psychological study of a character. It is about Lydia Tarr, widely considered one of the greatest living composer and first ever female chief conductor of a major German orchestra. The movie explores deep themes such as the usage of power, being a world-known icon, balancing work and family, having control over everything in our life, and gradually losing this precious control. I love how we are learning more about Tar as the film goes on. We're slowly being shown what she really is, and that she definitely has some problems. This picture is so good at portraying its world and characters that it could easily be considered as an adaptation of a true story. Cate Blanchett gives here an extraordinary performance, and cinematography is just beautiful. Triangle of Sadness.
Have a little look.
Aren't you going to eat the pasta?
Wait, sorry?
Aren't you going to eat the pasta?
No, I'm gluten intolerant.
It's just for the pictures. She's an influencer.
Oh,
Okay.
Okay, I'll be honest right from the start. After seeing Triangle of Sadness, I had to watch some discussions and breakdowns to have an idea of what did I just experience. From all of these films, Triangle of Sadness is by far the most debatable. It has so much to say that now I'm not even wondering why its runtime is made of nearly 2.5 hours. It is a very dark comedy and pretty wild satire. The main theme is the social hierarchy, contrast between rich and working class people. There's also very prominently showed manipulation and even a smaller exchange of thoughts on extreme political ideologies. But all of these social studies and themes are presented in such a way that you will be looking at a screen with mouth wide open or get simply staggered with all of the different events that are going down. Pretty almost every shot in the movie has a meaning. So much is so meticulously crafted. I cannot praise the director/writer Ruben Östlund enough. The film is divided into 3 truly different parts. In the first one, we'll get to know the 2 main protagonists in the world of modeling. In the second part, we find ourselves on luxury yacht, where rich people from around the world are on a cruise, where the main story kicks off. And about the last part, I won't say a word, because that would be a heavy spoiler. If you're interested in watching Triangle of Sadness, I highly recommend it. It even has an absolutely wonderful sequence, accompanied by a crushingly heavy metal song. What could possibly go wrong with that? The Fabelmans.
Stand and deliver. Keep screaming, keep screaming.
Okay guys, this one is special. Steven Spielberg put his whole heart into this picture. It became quickly one of my favorite Spielberg movies. It's about a kid who falls in love with the art of cinema. Spielberg is telling us a personal story about his filmmaking journey. And I felt it. I felt every emotion when this little kid was behind a camera, running around his family, or running around his friends making a western or war film, or around his school class documenting the last moments on high school. I felt the excitement, the joy, the happiness and the love that this kid and many of us have when we are looking at life in our own different beautiful way. That's not all. The story has really emotional scenes. I found myself nearly tearing up one time. And the comedy is another beautiful aspect of the film. It makes you feel truly happy. Spielberg is not shoving stupid jokes every 10 seconds in your face. It comes from heart. This whole movie is a heartwarming journey from the very beginning to the end. Top Gun Maverick. long 26 years, Tom Cruise returns as an elite pilot. A mission has been given to him, and now Maverick must change. He must become a teacher and face hard decisions, of course, life-threatening situations. From cheesy 80s movie, Top Gun came a long way. Everything that could go wrong with its sequel came out right. Top Gun Maverick was in the works from 2010. It's incredible how good the movie turned out to be. Actors are giving in their best, and every action shot of flying jets is unbelievably amazing. Action movies can hardly get better than that.
Hey man, where's your wingman?
Rooster, where are you? I got you, Doc. I'm coming. Hang in there, hang in there. Hurry